Hi friends, this is Chris with Peace of Mind Art and Crafts, and today I'm coming to you to show you a little bit of how I make journal covers. This first one that I'm going to show you is using slow stitch, and I'm going to use a piece. This is going to be a very small journal. I'm going to use a piece of quilted fabric. This is already quilted. I bought it like that. It's the white, and I use this a lot to slow stitch with. I really like it. I use it also for making the pouches that I make. That actually, speaking of the pouches, I'm going to have some more of those coming up soon. But I had this slow stitch heart that I liked. I might put on this cover. I'll see in a moment when I start making some journal covers for you. Last year I was able to shop and get some pretty nice lace pieces, and I was going to show you those, lace and fabric, for use in my slow stitch and on my covers, and of course in the journals, you know, anywhere where it's appropriate. I went to a store in Greensboro where my sister lives, and it was one of those where they had all kinds of items that were donated to them, including, it was mostly home decor, but it was also including paper and like old music sheets and old books and lace, fabric, ribbon, you know, kind of whatever people donated to them. Then they cleaned it up and put it out for sale. It was really a unique place, and so I was able to get some good bargains on some of these laces, and most of them are they're not antique, but I would say that they were vintage. I think the difference between antique and vintage is that antiques have to be like 100 years or older, and vintage is just like maybe 40, 50 years older. So anyway, I'll show you some of these pieces that I got. It's a really pretty piece. This, I think, was, I used part of this already. It was cut from, I think, the edge of a table runner. Okay, here was obviously a doily that was crocheted. I don't know that this is very old, but because the yarn feels like it might be acrylic. I know it's not. I don't think it's cotton. Okay, here's another lace. I think this was a collar originally. A lot of times they made collars on things, and this was crocheted. This is more of a recent thing. This isn't vintage or anything. It was a scarf that I found at a shop that I thought would. It was like $10, and I thought, well, that will. If I didn't use it as a scarf, which I'm not going to, that I could use it to cut it up. It's really long, so it has a lot of fabric in it for use. And you can be on the lookout in at flea markets and places that sell older things for vintage clothing that you might be able to cut up and use, as well as the vintage linens and doilies. This was, I believe, this looks like it was a napkin with a crocheted edge, and it looks like all cotton. This fabric will be cool to use as on covers and so on. And this is crocheted on the edges. This is a pillowcase that I had crocheted on the edges, and it was a manufactured item. I'm pretty sure it was, because it has a tag in here somewhere showing the fabric content. And this part is more acrylic, I think, has some acrylic in it, whereas this part is cotton. So I probably will most likely just use this part. And I washed these up so they are kind of ready for use. Now this is an example of a table runner or tablecloth that has a lot of stains on it. Like I said, I did wash them up, but I think that they're not really usable. So what I'll do is I'll cut them, and like this one looks like it has a lion on here, and mostly floral motifs. This is a lady, I think. But these I got from a friend who is going through like a lot of her grandma's things and her mother-in-law's things, and set them aside for me. Okay, so let's start on making a book cover. And like I said, I'm going to put this on here. But what I wanted to do, let me get my pin box out here. I have to be careful because everything sometimes tumbles down on me. It's clean the desk time again. Actually, it's always clean the desk time here in my room. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin this in place. I also have my my glue stick ready because some of this stuff I can just tack down very easily with a little bit of the glue stick instead of having pins all over. Sometimes if you have pins all over the place, you'll prick yourself as you sew. Okay, and since this already has been slow stitched on, I probably will put things under it, and then it has this topper on it. I'm just going to kind of turn that a little bit. I think that looks pretty. And some of these, I really like this. Maybe for the see, yeah, that's the correct side. And I might extend this. See how I'm extending this a little bit along the edges? That'll make a pretty border. And same for here. When I cut it off, I'm going to turn it a bit, and I'm going to leave just a little bit on the edge here. Hang over a bit. It's pretty, and then I still have this piece to use. I don't know if I'll use that or not over here. It'd be pretty. I think I'll wait on that one. I'll get some of this pillowcase. Now, depending, I would not cut this right off of the edge here because that it would unravel, and it's already sewn. Plus, I might want some of it to go underneath, which I do. I'm going to cut it at this seam though. And then I'll cut a piece. This has 2 layers where the top of the pillowcase is, but I could cut that apart too, so I don't have quite as much fabric to sew through when I'm slow stitching. Okay, that looks good. I'll cut it maybe a little longer because then I can always. There. So, See, it's a good thing I pinned this because this is going to go underneath here. This, I'm going to cut off this inside part as close as I can, but I don't want to clip that that trim off the edge. I hope you all are well in this new year. I wish you a happy new year and the best for 2024. And the years just fly by, don't they? Okay, now figure out how much I want this to overlap the edge. And I still have this tiny little piece. What I usually do with those is I put them in I have a box that I used for like ribbon rolls, my snippets, and so on, and I'll put it in that box. Okay, so let's put this here. Now I'm not going to slow stitch this today, but I will slow stitch it, and then I'll come back and show you at some point what it looks like. Okay, and I'm going to tack it down with a little bit of the glue. And this is purple, but it dries clear. Sure, I've got, yeah, see, I've got, this is the wrong side, so I've got that side down. And the part where I'm going to have the binding does not have a real heavy lace on it. That's a good thing, because it's less to sew all that the pages through. I don't know yet if this is going to be have fabric pages, or actually I probably will put this in my Etsy shop as a cover, as a journal cover for sale, rather than, and then the person who gets it can decide if they want paper or fabric pages in it. I might take this on the back as well. I think I will. I'm just kind of estimating here, and I'm estimating a little bit long. If you have some like really precious lace, then you can do more of an accurate measurement, so that you don't waste any. Okay. First of all, I'm going to cut this excess off. I'm doing it slowly so that I only cut through one. I could save this if I want to, for use on something else, which I usually do. Figure out where I want this. What I'll probably do is glue it down, and then I'll check the fold over on it. Cut this part. part off as well, as this goes under the other one. I'm going to check where my pages meet so I can see if I've got that out far enough to meet the other one. See what I mean? I'm matching up the white quilted fabric and then seeing how close this comes. Looks like this is out a little bit further, so I'm going to take it up out a little bit further to meet the other one. We're just a little bit in. And there we go. And I'm just trying to even these up as best I can. Doesn't have to be exactly right. There we go. Okay, now on this, I think I'm going to pin this because it is kind of, it's kind of thick here. So I'm going to put a couple pins just to make sure I have the right configuration here for slow stitching this. Make it a little easier. Okay, and as I go further along, then I can then I'll be able to cut the bottom off to be a little bit more accurate. That's kind of blue. Looks like it has a little bit of blue thread here. That's funny. Okay, so I've got that going on. There's the front. Oops, I pinned this shut, which I didn't need to do. And when I do trim this off, then I'll turn it this way so that I can trim it off more evenly. I might even want to do it right now so that I can, when I stitch, I'll be able to see where I need to go. And I'm leaving just a tiny bit on the edge, in case it shifts a little bit, or. And I think I'll save that little piece too. When it comes to lace is kind of precious, so. And I do a lot of things that have a lot of, I keep thinking this is the front, and it could very well be, but since I have this to put on the front. And I love this fabric, this lavender fabric. I could, if I wanted to, cut that piece off. I think I might. Okay, and also this was made as a hanging heart, so it has a back. I'm going to try to get that flower off of there. And of course I will save this little piece of black lace. Okay. Now what I could do, since this has a backing on it, is I could make this be a pocket, and I think I will leave it open somewhat when I stitch it down. And I think I did pin this one down. There you go. Okay, now on the back here, I don't want to put anything like a pocket or anything right yet. But because I need to slow stitch the everything down. So this since I'll be slow stitching through here, this would probably need to be covered. So I don't know if I'll use maybe I'll use a piece of this, or any other kind of lace, or maybe a piece of fabric, possibly paper. Okay. So then we have a little slow stitch cover. I probably will do some more of these videos with some other covers. That's a pretty piece. That looks pretty on there too. But that would be a little bit too much, so we don't want to get too much on there. Okay, so I have that one ready to slow stitch, and I'll show you that one on the next video that I do on these covers. Meanwhile, I'll be making some more covers to put into my Etsy shop. I want to thank those of you that have visited my Etsy shop to purchase. I've been selling an awful lot of my kits. I came out with a new one, the mountain cabin, and that one is going really well as some of the other ones. And like I said, I appreciate all of you for going over there and go over there and look for ideas. That's fine too. I appreciate you subscribing and watching my videos. I thank you, and again, I wish you a Happy New Year. Thanks for watching. Peace of mind to everyone.